Good morning. Globally, the big picture is a mix of conflict risk, economic uncertainty, and accelerating technological disruption. In the Middle East, U.S. and Iranian negotiators have reached a memorandum of understanding for a 60-day ceasefire extension, but it still needs final sign-off from President Trump, according to reporting from the Financial Times and others. The next phase of talks is expected to focus on what happens to Iran's highly enriched uranium. Despite the diplomatic track, the situation remains volatile. The BBC reports Iran says it targeted an American base after fresh U.S. strikes, and Israel has carried out strikes in the region, including a reported targeted strike on Beirut. In Gaza, hospitals in Gaza City report deaths from a strike that appears to have targeted a Hamas commander, with children reportedly among those killed. The economic spillover from the Iran conflict is sharpening. The Financial Times reports Chevron's CEO warning oil prices are likely to rise as supplies are hit, with the Strait of Hormuz disruption removing significant volumes from the market and drawing down remaining buffers. Separately, Al Jazeera cites analysis that rebuilding U.S. weapons stockpiles after the Iran war could take years, a reminder that industrial capacity is now a strategic economic variable. On the technological revolution and artificial intelligence, a major legal front is opening. Al Jazeera reports CNN is suing AI search company Perplexity, alleging unlawful distribution of copyrighted stories, videos, and images to power its products. It's another signal that AI's next phase will be shaped as much by courts and licensing as by engineering. Turning to Australia, federal politics and economic policy are dominated by tax and integrity debates. SBS reports Treasurer Jim Chalmers has introduced controversial tax reforms to Parliament, pitching them as a bill for workers, first home buyers, and future generations, despite backlash. ABC reports Treasury Secretary Jenny Wilkinson says existing investment tax arrangements deliver vastly different lifetime benefits, around $700,000 for top-income earners compared with about $5,700 for median earners. At the same time, ABC reports small business owners argue Labor's capital gains tax plan handcuffs ambition, urging the government to rethink more than just eligibility thresholds. For the Australian Public Service and Governance, the conversation argues an effective reset of the National Anti-Corruption Commission should revisit the issue of public hearings, as the NAC continues to face internal scandals and complaints. Also on system design, the conversation says proposed rapid scam refunds of up to $3,000 may sound generous, but look low compared with the UK's approach, raising questions about consumer protection settings as fraud becomes more industrialized. In the Australian economy and housing, the Sydney Morning Herald reports changes to negative gearing could be a tipping point for a Western Australian building boom, with one expert suggesting an $8 billion uplift in private rental construction. Public health and risk monitoring are also in focus. SBS reports the Federal Health Department is closely monitoring Ebola developments as questions arise about whether Australia will follow the US and Canada on travel restrictions. Finally, locally and community-facing, ABC reports Wilcannia is using practical supports like buses, breakfast, and even circus skills to lift school attendance, highlighting how service delivery innovations can matter as much as policy settings. That's the latest on the material developments to start the day.